What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Planet podcast. I'm joined today by Jose Novelo. How are you doing today?
Doing good, brother. Great to be here.
Thank you for being here. Jose is a lifelong baseball fan. He's a lifelong Angels fan, as you can see by his cap. So, unfortunately, he's been suffering for
Yes,
about the
sir.
past 10 years or so. You got Mike Trout, Otani, but we'll get to that later. So, today, Jose is joining the show to discuss the new rules that the MLB is implementing for this season. And these rules are designed to improve the game's pace of play and increase action on the field. So it seems like it's more directed at the younger audience, younger fans, because
Yeah.
recently we've been seeing an uptick in the duration of the game. They seem to last longer with less offense, and the MLB is just
Yeah.
trying to make sure they don't lose that audience before it's too late. So one of the new rules
Yeah.
that they're implementing this season is the pitch clock, and so the pitcher has 15 seconds to get ready, like get and start their motions when there's no one on base. But if there's someone on base, they have 20 seconds to start. And if they fail to meet the timer, then they get assessed a ball. Whereas the batter, if they're not set by the 8 second mark of the pitch clock, they get assessed a strike. So this is something obviously new this season. We've already seen Manny Machado get a violation. He was actually the first one during spring training. So like now that we've had a little bit of spring training games in, you get to see it a little like in person on the major league level. What have you thought of this rule so far?
Well, so far, like you said, man, this is geared towards going more for the casual fan, right? And
Hmm.
as a
Yeah, of
lifelong
course.
fan, for me, I could watch a game. I could watch 3 hours. I could watch 4 hours, 6 hours. I'll be over there scorekeeping. But these newer
Yep.
fans, newer generations, young kids trying to come up here. All you want to pay attention to are the bat flips, the crazy plays. As a fan, I'm kind of excited for it just to see how it goes. But as a player or as a former player, it's gonna suck, dude. You're going up there. The pitcher. We might see an uptick in injuries. Obviously, minor leagues, we didn't
Yep.
see a whole lot. Nothing changed with them. We'll figure it
Hmm.
out. And the crazy thing actually is that you might not see a lot of you see a lot of relievers go in there and they're pumping gas, right? They're pumping
Yep.
100, coming off the bat. With them only
Hmm.
having 20 seconds, it's going to be one of those where they have to maintain lower energy. So you might not see a lot of those, high level guys. You're going to see the fastball velocity stay pretty much at the same, where we're a
Hmm.
little bit below than what we're looking at now. Which, again, that's what we saw in the minor leagues. Every year it was rising, rising, rising because you just have guys go in there and start pumping it. Right? They don't care. They're only in there for like 10 pitches, and now they gotta pace themselves. And again, as a player, it's going to suck, dude. You're going to step in the batter mostly. You have 8 seconds to get in there, and then you have 8 seconds to get ready for fucking 1-on-1. That's going to be something that
Yep.
not a lot of guys are going to be able to adjust to. It's going to be tough. And then we saw recently in spring training with the bases loaded, you can't get in there, and they call a ball, and you lose the game that way. That's going to be tough for a lot of old school
Hmm.
fans to understand. And same thing as a player, you're going to look at yourself and be like, man, you took away my chance. And
Yep.
it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough adjustment, but hopefully we'll see quicker. It's proven that it's going to be quicker, right? Minor league times went down
Oh
from
yeah,
3 hours
definitely.
all the way down to 2 hours 40 minutes. Yeah, so 25-minute change in
Hmm.
time. That's big. We get a lot of people leaving the stadiums early, so they beat traffic. Hopefully this will help out. But yeah, it's going to be weird. Again, the pitcher's 20 seconds to set in motion, or 15 seconds, right?
Yeah.
No batter, 20 seconds with the runner on.
Yeah.
I think they
Correct.
can only step off twice, right? It's going to be one of those where it's the strategic part. Before, when you want to get a pitcher out, you make them throw 20 throws to
Hmm.
first base, right? You get that reliever a little bit extra time to warm up. Now they only get two.
Hmm.
After that, it's considered a balk if they don't make an out. So it's going to be an adjustment period for everybody involved. So we'll see where it goes from there. And that's just one of the rules, man. We still got a couple more we got to touch base on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just one of them, and like two things. One of them, like you mentioned, the average time. In 2021, there was an MLB record for the average time each game. Well, not each game, sorry. The average game ran for 3 hours and 11 minutes. And when you think of that as a common, not a common fan, but like let's just say a new fan, because as a like an old timer fan, we can watch that, right? We don't mind seeing like a pitcher's duel, like only like one can throw a no hitter, the other one throws only one or two hits. I mean, allows one or two hits. Like, but for the new fan that like just wants to see nothing but offense, that's really hard because historically during that 2021 season, the hits were pretty low. It was one of the worst seasons in terms of hitter, like for hitters. And but the thing about that, like as I was saying, for old timers like us, like we don't mind seeing that strikeouts because the strikeouts were at like an all time high during that season. So I don't know if it was the pitchers just being that much
Yep.
better or whatever, but the pitch clock, it did like when they tried it out in the minor league systems, like you mentioned earlier, they did decrease the average game time by 25 minutes. And another thing that they saw during that, with these new rules, batting averages slightly increased. There was a big increase in stolen bases and then a small decrease in strikeouts. So we'll get back to the stolen bases later because that's one of the rules. But like we were saying, like the new fan just wants to see offense, offense, offense. So like I could see where the MLB
Yep.
is coming from because obviously as older fans start, I don't want to say dying off, but as older fans we start turning the page from older fans to the younger fans, they're going to start losing fans if they don't do something. So I
Yep.
don't know, like, but another thing that you were saying also, the two disengagements, that also helps the game run by quicker, more smoother. Because how many times is it annoying, even for us? Like we see them, they keep trying to pick off the batter at first base, like the runner. Like, okay, you already tried 300 times, but like, just stop, just keep it going. So
Exactly.
that's why like they did the two disengagements. So like that meaning pick off attempts or just stepping off the mound. And like you said, that there's the third disengagement leads to a balk. I could see those type of rules being very helpful because it really does slow down the game when the pitcher just keeps trying to pick off the runner. So I don't know, but like that's the thing. I could see the advantages or the pros for the new rules, and I could see the cons. So where do you think the MLB can
Yeah.
like reach that middle line for the new fans and the old fans?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, you really can't. Pace of play is always going to be a problem with baseball
Mm-hmm.
because it's such a strategic game, man. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
very tough. I mean, 20 seconds I think is a good start. Maybe 20 seconds for pitchers, especially, or maybe even 30 seconds. I think 30 seconds would be a good
Mm-hmm.
time because as of right now, man, I feel like the pitchers have a little bit of an advantage over the hitters. Like I said, you only have what
Mm-hmm.
15 seconds to get in the box and be ready to hit. 98, well, average fastball velocity is what, 9,800 now. So that's going to be the hardest part. Obviously, hitters are going to adjust. Like you said, we did see a little bit uptake in offense, a little bit less in strikeouts. So that'll be kind of a little bit where the pitchers aren't going to be throwing max effort every single time. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, baseball is a game of routine. So as a batter, you
Of
kind of want to
course.
step in. You know how it is. You see a batter. You see how he goes in there. He steps in with one foot. Sticks out his bat over the plate, checks a little bit. Adjusts his straps, adjusts everything about him.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets in the box. That usually takes 20 seconds. So yeah, it's going to save a little bit of time, but at the same time, man, like it's going to be tough. Especially you got 10-year vets out there that do the same routine every time. They've been doing it for years, years and years and years. So we're going to probably see a bunch of violations the first couple months. I'd say a month, and then everybody will get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to cry about it just because we're old fans, man. We don't want to. We're always at. We're stuck on that. Baseball has no time limit. We're the only sport
Mm-hmm.
as
Yep.
of right now where you need to win. You can't. It's never going to end in a tie. You have to. You have to
Mm-hmm.
finish the game. So that's where it's going to be tough for us older fans to say, well, where do we draw the line? But like you said, man, newer fans, they want to see the action. They want to see, they don't want to be at the ball game for 4 hours. I mean, and really nobody
Yeah.
does. After the third or fourth inning, some people are already ready to go home. So, yeah, like you said, hopefully this
Yeah.
helps out, the sport grow a little bit. But it was going to be tough, man. we'll see how it goes at the end of the season. We'll probably revisit this, and it might change our opinions. Again, as of right now, it's just
Hmm.
going to be really tough for us older fans and players to adjust to this new way of playing.
Yeah, like you said, it's like baseball is probably like the only sport, if not one of, that doesn't have a timer, like you said. So like obviously as a new fans, they're all like, okay, when is this gonna end? When is this gonna end? Can someone just score, please? Like I'm trying to go. It's like it's the bottom of the 14th inning, you know? Like I'm
Yep,
just
you
trying to
hit
go
it.
home. But like so like for me
Yeah,
personally, like so I like obviously I've watched baseball for a while. I don't mind that, but as like someone that's watched it for a while, so I'm like, okay, come on, guys, please, somebody score, because like I don't like to be the type that
yeah,
leaves before the game ends. Like even if it doesn't matter if my team's losing or if they're in extra
exactly. Yeah,
innings. Like I'd like to be there the whole time. I paid for the
yeah,
ticket. I'm gonna be there and enjoy the whole show. But like something that like will help that was like obviously like the pitch count that we mentioned, and then they're also like implementing like more timers with like in between batters. So now there's a 30 like there's 30 seconds in between batters. 'Cause obviously there was like a slight timer before,
yeah,
but now they're going to be more strict about it. And then like even in between innings,
yeah,
like this is during the regular season only. Obviously they're not going to, I mean, as of right now, they're not going to do playoffs because that's a whole other monster to deal with.
yeah.
But
It's a whole
in
thing.
between innings, there will be 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So like it's good that they're going to be stepping it up
Okay.
because like you know how many times is it that you see they bring a new pitcher, right? The pitcher's already warming up in the bullpen before they call them into the game majority of the time because but like they're not going to just throw in a pitcher cold. But even at that, once the pitcher finally gets put into the game, they have to warm up on the actual mound, because it's a slight difference in between the bullpen and the actual field.
Yeah,
So, but so when you see that happen, it's all like, okay, they come back from commercial break and they're like, oh, they just brought in this pitcher. We'll be right back. So it's all like, I feel like that kind of stuff will be able to like, it'll help with because as a fan watching that, it's kind of annoying because like, oh my God, how long is it going to take for the game to come back? But I don't know, man. It's like,
yeah,
I could see, like I said earlier, I could see the pros and cons, but like, I think it will help I think it will help because it'll make the game much more enjoyable to watch, knowing that like not that they're rushing them, but knowing that this game won't take as long as it normally does. And another thing, like we were talking about, another rule that is being implemented are banned defensive shifts. So obviously, shifts meaning like from the infield, uh, it's really strategic, right? So if you have a batter
yeah,
that's left-handed, they're gonna put the whole defense onto the side where he hits the most. It's strategic. So the MLB is
yep,
cracking down on that because they want to see more hits, more runs coming in, and I feel like that's one of the. I can see the timer being like a good thing, to help like rush the game, but
yeah,
the defensive shift is something I'm like, come on, like that's something so strategic that one shouldn't be banned, but I could see why. But I don't know, man. Like just
yeah,
as an old time fan, like I do not want to see the shift being banned. What
yeah,
do you think about the shifts?
yeah, man. So this one, as a for me, like again, like you said, it's just it's one of those things where as a hitter, you need to be able to adjust to those shifts, man. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's not that hard to go the other way. I know nowadays everybody just wants to crush the ball. That's where the money's at, right? Nobody's going to pay
Yep.
you to hit
Mm-hmm.
freaking 350 singles, but if you hit 60 bombs, even though you're only hitting, a buck 50, you hit 50 bombs, dude, you're making 10 million, $15 million a year, minimum. So it's one of
Even
those
more
things
than
where I feel
that.
like
Yeah.
hitters are getting paid a lot of money. Yeah, exactly. They're getting paid a lot of money. They should be able to adjust to any type of shift that's pointed at them, right? They shouldn't just keep hitting the same thing over
Mm-hmm.
and over again. But as a fan, dude, like especially somebody that likes defensive plays, I'm kind of excited
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to bring back that, like your shortstop has to be the most dynamic player out there. Your second baseman has to be mobile.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to bring back those, like, you remember the first time you ever saw Jeter freaking do that backhand fucking hop
His
throw to first.
yeah,
That
his
excitement is
signature
going to be
move.
back. Nowadays everything is,
Mm-hmm.
yep, the Jeter throw, right? Everybody as a kid wanted to do
Yeah.
it. So now you got shortstops that are positioned right where the ball is going to be hit. So it's a lot of routine plays. It doesn't make it any easier,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm hoping that, we see Trey Turner busting it down, dude, diving up the middle, getting up, gunning somebody out. You're going to see that. That's going to be a little bit more exciting. So, as a fan that likes watching athletes compete, I think it's gonna make everybody see that, dang, these guys can move. These guys can be mobile. These guys can, hop those, their arm strength. You're gonna be able to showcase all that. You're gonna have to go in the hole, deep in the hole, try to throw guys out that way, as opposed to just, everything is hit where you're playing. It had gone to the
Mm-hmm.
point where you could predict where every ball was gonna go, pretty much for every batter, right? So, and then,
Yeah,
like, for
yeah.
example, I'll give you one crazy one, right? Last year on a couple games, Mike Trout went up to bat, and they had four outfielders out there. That's one of those where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, dude, now you're getting, like, I can see, one second baseman out there, but to put four outfielders out there, it's kind of that was
Mm-hmm.
getting a little bit too much for me. Again, hit it over their heads, which is what he did for 40 plus times, but still, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, all right, all right. I see where they want to try limiting it, but I'm telling you, man, we're going to see a lot of exciting plays. You're going to start hearing about players that you've never heard about, just because we do have a lot of players that are more defensive. They're defensive
Mm-hmm.
specialists, so they go in there just to help your defense. You're gonna hear a bunch of little names that they're gonna be popping off, dude. They're gonna be making plays left and right, and you're gonna be damn. But at the same time, is it really gonna help bring offense up? Maybe 2 or 3 runs every other game, but yeah, like you said, baseball's all about being strategic, being hitting it where there ain't, right. That's where you gotta go as a hitter. So it's gonna take a little bit away from that. Obviously, back in the day we didn't have defensive shifts, and we saw these guys get 3,000 hits by going up the middle. So it's gonna be one of those where, like I said, it'll be an adjustment period. But I'm actually kind of excited for this one as a defensive, watching it from a defensive standpoint. Like watching these guys actually do crazy stuff is gonna be awesome. But yeah, again, like you said, the thing is you don't want to limit what clubs can do to win ball games. Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
the shift is a big difference between, getting out of an inning unscathed or giving up, 6 runs, because they can just, go downhill from there. If somebody gets a hit up the middle, usually you have a guy there, turn a double play, you're out of the inning. Right now, you have to have them. I think
Mm-hmm.
what they draw lines behind second base. Is that what it is? And everybody's got to be one. Second baseman, shortstop got to be on one side of each. So um, again, for this one, I'm kind of excited. I just love watching guys play, man, and I love watching flips to second baseman, throw them out. I remember watching these guys, and again, these are going to be guys that aren't
Mm-hmm.
aren't really like big hitters. You got a couple good shortstop, Bogarts, fucking Turner, all those guys out there that can make plays. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you even saw Machado a couple years ago when he was playing short. He'd go in the hole, and then you'd see his arm strength gun it all the way to first. Now you don't really see too much of it. You still see it on occasion, but I think we're going to see a little bit more. So I'm a little bit excited for this one.
Well, I hope I'm wrong, and I mean I wouldn't mind that, but like the only reason I say that I didn't like it is because of the takes out the strategy portion, like like helping a team win. Because at
Yeah,
that, but I mean I wouldn't mind seeing those defensive plays either, because like you said, those are kind of like highlight type plays. So if it makes it more exciting, it makes it more exciting. I was just seeing it from the strategic point of view, but I don't know.
yeah, because
Anything else you like to say about that?
yeah, like you said, well, yeah, man. I mean, the most important thing is, as exciting as it is to watch those plays, I understand that at the end of the day, most important
Mm-hmm.
things are wins and losses, and defensive shifts get you more wins. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I see where you're coming from, and again, it's one of those things. They took away the pitcher has to face a minimum of 3 batters. So before you could have one lefty come in and face the only lefty in the lineup, and it's one of those where you have to be. Baseball's a strategic game, like you say, man. So I get it. I get it.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be watching it will be a little bit different, but yeah, man. The most important thing is going to be wins and losses, and you do make a good point. It's one of those things where the shift gets you wins, and we're paying these batters what we go in there to watch every ball game. We're going in there spending money, and we're watching these guys hit right into the shift where it's just All it takes is a little bit of an
Hmm.
adjustment, and we could. The funny thing is, I can talk smack because, like I said, I'm over here. I'm watching it. I'm not in there facing 98, but I got a couple buddies that
Yeah.
they just say, hey, just a little bit there, just a flick of the wrist, and it's right there. Instead of going for the long ball, help the ball club win, and then we'll see the shifts gradually go down. But yeah, banning the shift is I'm excited. I know you're not too excited for it, but yeah, man, I can't hide my excitement for it, dude. I gotta watch those plays, but I get where you're going from. Like I said,
Yeah,
most
yeah.
important thing is wins
No,
and losses, and defensive shifts, man. All they do is get you wins.
yeah. No, yeah, that's why I get like I can see where you're coming from. So I don't know. Well, I guess we just have to see how the season plays out because regardless of what happens, I feel like no matter what, by the end of the season, there's going to be so many players complaining about something, whether it's one rule or the other. And it's funny, like how you were saying earlier, aside from the rules, like how you were saying, it's easy for us as fans to be like, how do you not hit it that way? Like it's so easy. Just hit it that way. All the players are on this side of the infield. Just hit it the other way. It's like, so it's always easy to tell or criticize people and tell them what they should have done. But it's a whole other thing once you're actually on the field and be like, okay, like I tried to, but these guys are throwing heat, like upper 90s into the hundreds. It's how like, and that ball just goes through you like that, like before you can even blink, it's already over the
Yep.
plate. So they got to decide whether they're going to swing before the pitch is even out. So it was just funny how you
Yeah.
mentioned that. But also another thing that could, or another rule that they're implementing are the bigger bases. And originally the bags used to be 15-inch bags. Now they're 18 inches. So obviously it's going to help generate more infield hits and stolen bases. So like I was saying earlier, there was a big increase in stolen base attempts in the minor leagues. So, obviously everyone likes to see a stolen base too. So maybe that can help bring in a little extra pizzazz or whatever you want to call it, like to the game. Cause it's all like, oh, now they
Yeah.
have a batter on first. He's going to try stealing. That way he can get out of that potential double play. So, and now with the bigger bases, it's a little not easier, I want to say, but it's a little more attainable. Because how many times do you see a guy be like get thrown out by just the fingernail? So hopefully this helps generate a little more
Yeah.
buzz
Exactly.
around it. And yeah, so what do you think about the bigger bases being implemented?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a couple inches, man. Like what's this, the saying goes? Baseball is a game of inches, right? You get a base hit, it's
Mm-hmm.
like an inch off between a base hit and an out. So these bigger
Yep.
bases, I think, are going to play a bigger role in players being able to actually get to the bag. You see a lot of guys get thrown out, 2 or 3 inches away. Now you're going to have those extra 2 inches just to get to at the bag. So I mean, it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
force everybody to want to steal. We don't really see a lot of guys. I mean, I don't know what the stats are, but I didn't really see a lot of guys steal. You used to hear back in the day, what was it? Used to have 40-40 players, 30-30 players,
Yep.
I remember a couple years back with the Dodgers, Matt Kemp, he'd be hitting 35
Okay.
bombs and have 35 stolen bases. You have,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, all these guys that could do it. I mean, even Trouty, he'd be at 30 home runs, almost 40 stolen bases. So that's always thrilling, seeing those. Maybe you're going to get a bunch of new guys that can get into those clubs, exclusive, the 50-50 club, 50 homers, 50 steals. Like, when's the last time we heard anybody get close to that? So yeah, hopefully with the bigger bags,
Yeah.
it'll allow players to get into those, give us a little bit more excitement, which is what all these rules are about. It's trying to get more eyes, more excitement to the players. But I think a bigger thing is we might see a little bit less injuries. With the bigger bag,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna the runner doesn't have to necessarily go straight for the player. We used to hear you're taught since you're little, man, break up that double play, run over that dude, take that guy out. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of the sayings. But we don't want to injure somebody because we go there to watch those players, man. And if somebody slides into my guy that I just paid $30 million to a year, I'm gonna be a little upset because I'm not gonna be watching them for a little bit. So I think the bigger bases, again, it doesn't seem, what is it, a 3 inch difference? It doesn't seem that big, but
Three
three
inches.
inches
Yeah.
on this side, 3 inches on that side. That's an extra,
Mm-hmm.
5 inches of room. From one base to the other, you got a little bit extra space. I think it's good. We're gonna, like you said, we're gonna see a little bit more steals, and it should be fun. It should be fun. Like I said, more eyes, more excitement. Well, it should be fun.
No, yeah, like 'cause like you said, it's only 3 inches, but like it doesn't seem like it's a lot like that big of a difference. But I don't know. I'm sure you've seen the pictures where they put the new bag under the old bag, and like
Yeah.
it's only 3 inches, but it looks like a way bigger difference. So like it should really
Yep.
help stimulate more stolen base attempts at least. I'm not saying it's going to lead to more stolen bases. Obviously it might with the increase in attempts, but at least players will be more willing to like not sacrifice, willing to risk stealing a base. And like
Yeah.
I was saying earlier,
Yeah.
that helps out. That's like another strategy, right? Because like I was saying earlier, it's like, okay, this you want to get out of that potential double play. So what do? You steal a base. And then like if you steal that base and the batter that's up somehow gets thrown out at first, you still have a chance to go to third, so like it helps keep the game going a little more, generate a little more offense. So I mean, this one I am kind of excited about because it'll help, like with the flow of the game a little more in terms of more excitement on the offensive end. Anything else that you want to
Yeah.
say
You got
about
the
the bigger
speedy guys.
bases or any of the rules in general?
No, no. No, I think you pretty much covered everything, man. Like you're saying right here. I mean, every new rule is it was put out there to generate more excitement, right? And baseball is a little bit
Mm-hmm.
boring sometimes. There'll be a couple games where in a 162 game season, you're gonna have a few duds. You're gonna have a few duds, but
Yep.
hopefully this brings just a little bit more eyeballs. We get a couple new fans that 2 hours. I mean, if you're not watching it at a stadium, 2 hours, you don't want to sit down for 3 hours, 3.5 hours watching
Mm-hmm.
a 9 inning game. So hopefully, like you said, all the bases. I mean, like decrease injuries, bring up more steals. Great defensive shifts. I'm excited. You're not too excited about it because I know you want to see those. You want to get those wins. You want to get those outs. I get it,
Yeah,
man. I
yeah,
get it. But how many times you see a guy hit a little dribbler where the third baseman would normally be at or shortstop and
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember what was it? I remember Kershaw a few years ago when the Dodgers first started implementing more shifts. Remember him and Rich Hill
Mm-hmm.
got pretty pissed off. They're like, we usually have a guy there. That's one of those things.
Yeah, yeah,
Throwing out those old players. But yeah, man, like that. Though that's the only
yeah,
one
yeah,
that, like you said, I'm not a big fan of the pitch clock. That's me. As it's just, I think it's gonna
yeah.
be
Same.
just again, man. For me, I just can't. I don't see it, man. There shouldn't be a timer in baseball. There shouldn't. But as a player, I'm pissed off about it. I don't want any rule changes. But as a fan, I want to see a little bit more excitement. I want to see more runs. I want to see more stolen bases. I
Mm-hmm.
want to see more defensive plays. And I think these rules will help out a little bit. Just watching the game. From watching the game standpoint, I think it'll be a little bit more fun. We'll get to see more players showcase, more of their athletic talents. We're not just going to see,
Yeah,
the guys that can hit bombs. We're going to see the little speedy guys that can chase a ball down or, make that backhanded play. We're gonna hopefully we'll see a couple more of those guys, but no way to really tell until the season starts. Obviously, spring training.
mm-hmm.
Boy, like we've had how many violations? We had two high level. Well, two what is it? Two highlight
Yeah,
ones where everybody's talking about it, right? And it was the first. It's barely the
yeah.
first 4 days, so it's gonna be one of those. We're in for a ride. Obviously, like you said, the rules are
Yes.
made for us to be more excited. So I think we go in there a little bit more excitement, and then we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, Players Association. If they decide to do anything about it, we'll hear about it. But I mean, if the minor leaguers can adjust to it, then I think big league hitters will be able to adjust to it. So hopefully, we won't see too many changes.
Yeah, I just feel like the major league players are going to be the ones, obviously, that complain about it more because a lot of them have been in the MLB for a long time. So it's all like, obviously, the minor
Yeah,
leaguers they've also grown up knowing the same kind of game, but now it's easier for them to adjust because they are younger and they're still in the minors. So it's all like, all right, if I want to make it to the majors, I guess I gotta adapt. Whereas the major league players that are already
yeah,
seasoned veterans, they're gonna be like, I've been playing this game for how long, and now you want me to switch it up? So like I could see why they'd be
exactly.
annoyed, but I could also see why the common fan is going to be like, oh, this game is actually it actually isn't that bad. But That's the thing. Like
Yeah, yeah,
Commissioner
exactly.
Rob Manfred about what he had to say about these rules. He said, "quote We think the changes are going to produce a crisp, more exciting game with more balls in play." So, like you were saying earlier, like with the band shifts, like I think that could also come into it because you're going to see more of those Jeter type throws, where like, oh, is the shortstop going to gun this guy out at first? So I feel like
Yeah,
I said I don't like it in terms of like the strategy coming out of it, but like I could also see your viewpoint of like, oh, it's gonna give us a more highlight play. So I like I'm just kind of excited to see how these rules come out, and I guess
yeah,
I'm all for pitch count, bigger bases, band defensive shifts. They'll probably grow on me once I start seeing those highlight plays. But that's all I really
yeah.
have to say about the new rules. What about you?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's going to be like you said, minor leaguers. They're forced to adjust, right? They're not. They haven't been up
Mm-hmm.
here. Their routine is a little bit different. They can make adjustments down there, and it's easier for those guys too because I don't know if you ever played little league, but you remember in little league, you as soon as you're ready to bat, you're excited. You're going up there. You're in the box. You don't even take any time, right? You're in the box
Uh
ready to
huh.
hit. You swing and miss. You just put the bat back up and you're ready to swing again, right? There's no,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to step out. I'm going to take time. As you get older, I've been watching my brother play a little bit of high school ball, and it's the same thing. One guy gets out or one guy gets on base, and the other dude's almost like he's at the box ready to go. So I think
Mm-hmm.
younger players are getting used to that. They gotta kind of have to speed it up a little bit, right? They kind of have to go.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a little bit where and we have some pitchers that like the quick pitch, right? Nestor Cortez likes to throw a ball sometimes really quick, throw pitchers off. We're going to see a
Mm-hmm.
little bit less of that now because you don't have that time. That's another thing I forgot about is just pitchers would play with the hitter, right? You go up there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes you 30 seconds. Sometimes it takes you 10 seconds. Sometimes it takes you a minute. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of those where that's what a pitcher loses because it's always been the game of baseball has always been on the pitcher's time, right? Because
Oh
they're
yeah.
forced to throw, they're forced to,
They
they're
control
leading
it.
the thing, it's on them. But now you take that away from them, right? So yeah, they literally Rob Manfred is doing everything, man, to score runs. He tried juicing the balls and that didn't work because everybody blew up on him, right? So now we got to try all
Yeah.
these different ones to freaking create that offense. So they're gonna try everything they can, just because like you said, everybody's excited about offense, 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 offense. It's not there's only a couple
Mm-hmm.
people like me and you that are longtime fans that can go watch a ball game and keep score and all this stuff. We like to see those. We like to see the no hitters. We like to see the freaking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm gonna defensive shift this guy. All right, hit it right to me. Out. We're out of the inning. Let's go. We can watch that. We enjoy watching that. But casual fans, all they want to do is I don't know if you've ever gone with a friend that never watches baseball. They're like, have they hit a home run yet? They want that excitement, and
Yeah.
it's their right. We have to be a little bit more entertaining. So that's what Rob Manfred's trying to do. I'm not a big fan of him ever since he took over. Again, I think
No.
baseball's kind of been going down, 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 down. But
Yeah.
he's still there. The owners like him, so we'll see how it goes, man. But
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, we see more offense. We see more excitement. I'm just hoping we don't see any pitcher injuries. Because, as an Angels fan, for me, man, we don't have many pitchers. And if we lose someone because, they're forced to throw quick, 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 I think I'm going to be a little upset, dude, because we don't have anything to go on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all like you said, an Angel fan. But are you excited about this season, or are you just gearing up for another? We have Trout, we have Otani, we have these star players, superstar
Yeah.
players, and so like we still can't make it back to the playoffs. What are you thinking of as you're gearing up for another season of Angel baseball?
Dude, I'm one of those where it's like, I think for me, every year is a new start, right? Last year, I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of excited. Chalk came back. He ended up getting hurt mid-season, so it is. But I think this year, I think this man is
Mm-hmm.
going to be on a mission. I think he's over here ready to, he's over here. He looks locked in. He's leading, Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. So I'll hopefully get to see him
Yeah.
hit against Otani. That'll be for me as an Angels fan. That's going to be amazing. But I think this year I'm not going to say we go ahead and go full World Series, but I think we finish above 500. That's all I'm hoping for. We got a lot of young guys coming back up. Sandoval was, I think for me was, I know everybody talks about Otani because he can pitch and hit, but
Mm-hmm.
Sandoval really held us down, man. He had like 15 quality starts or something like that, maybe a little bit less than that, but he had quality starts. Jose Suarez picked it up towards the end of the season, and that's going to help us. That's going to help us win. If we can win 3 out of 5 games or 3 out of 4 out of 6, because we're going to have 6 starters. We can win 4 out of 6 every time, every week, dude. We should be able to compete. So I'm a little bit excited. I'm not going
Mm-hmm.
to keep my hopes up. I'm not going World Series. I'm not that excited, but I think we'll
Mm-hmm.
finish above 500. Maybe get in the wild card, and hopefully re-sign Otani. Or if we're doing really bad, man, then I don't know, man. I don't know what we're gonna do. It's gonna be one of those where it sucks being an Angels fan, dude. You either have super high expectations because we do have Trout and Otani, or we're just gonna be,
Mm-hmm.
man. It's done. It's over. It's like halfway through the season, you just want to burn your jersey and walk away. It's just you don't even
Yeah.
want to watch anymore. So hopefully, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
over 500 wild card. Relive 2002. Let's make it all the way. But I'm just hoping we finish above 500 for the first time in a few years.
Yeah. That was gonna be my next question to you. I was
Yeah.
gonna ask you to make a bold prediction. Will Otani return after this season, or do you think he leaves?
Bold prediction. I think he signs a 4-year, $450 million contract. Re-signs with the Angels. Mike Trout has the best season you've seen in a long time. I'm talking about Babe Ruth type of numbers, and I think that's what we see this year. I think it's going to be one of those. That's my bold prediction. I think I know all eyes are going to be on Otani, but I think Trout's a little bit in the shadows right now. I think he's going to go off. I think he's going to hit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying break Judge's record, but hey, man, he kept up with him even while missing. He was 30 games short, so that would have been a close race last
Mm-hmm.
year. So I'm not. I'm gonna keep my hopes up for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna argue with you on that one. Mike Trout is Mike Trout, probably the best player in baseball. Obviously he got injured or whatever, but Mike, if you're gonna tell me Mike Trout is gonna lead the league in home runs, I'm not gonna say no. It's Mike Trout, man. This man's from a whole other
Yeah.
planet when it comes to baseball.
But again, the big thing too is if we're not doing that great, do we trade them for prospects? That's a tough
That's the
decision for
thing.
me. I did. It's a tough choice, man. As a fan, I want to
I,
keep him. I love the guy, man. He's making me
yeah,
love baseball. Seeing a guy
mm-hmm.
do it, man, hit and pitch at an
Do it on
elite
both
level,
ends.
incredible. But yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a couple first round
Mm-hmm.
pitchers, man. You know, I wouldn't mind
And
seeing that. I think our organization is short on minor leagues. Our minor league system sucks. So we're rebuilding. We're getting better. We got a few guys coming up that are going to be good. We finally get some guys that are in the top 100 prospects. It's been years since I've seen that. So I'm excited for it, man. Again, I think he resigns. I'm going to go with resigns. The big prediction: Shohei
all
resigns,
right,
450 million, 4 years. That's my
Dodger fans,
prediction.
Dodger fans watching this, they're not gonna they're gonna hope you're wrong because Dodger fans are obviously us Dodger fans want every single big name possible. So like you saw
Yeah,
this
yeah,
past this winter during the off season, Dodgers didn't make that many big like splashes with big names, and a lot of the rumors were that they're
yeah,
waiting on Otani after this season. So if they didn't make those big splashes this past off season, I hope they get Otani because I'm like they missed out on a lot of good talent, just to like not get him this after this season. That could be a huge risk, but the Dodgers are able to make that gamble because they're already. It's not like I'm not going to say they don't need him, but they already have plenty of talent at every position to the point where they have the luxury of if they don't get him, it won't be as big of a blow. But that's the thing, man. I hope they get Otani just as a Dodger fan because that'd just be awesome. Like
yeah,
last
man.
year, I went to the
You know what?
Angels Dodger game just to see Otani. Like I'm a Dodger fan, but I went to that game to make sure I saw Otani.
Yeah,
And something we were talking about earlier, like we can watch no hitters going on or whatever. That game that I went to was the game where Tyler Anderson was super close to the no hitter, And obviously, it's one thing if you're the team that's like a fan of the team that's doing the no hitter, as opposed to being the team a fan of the team that's being no hit. But like just being at that game, it was just so like the environment was so crazy because it's like I was even with people that aren't really big baseball fans, but they just want like they'll go to the ballpark, you know. But it's all like even at that they were
Yeah,
buying into it because like the energy, like once they saw uh, Anderson come back out for the ninth inning, the crowd just started roaring. It's like, come on, like yes, let's watch history. And then as we're talking about Otani comes up and he's the one that breaks up the no hitter. So it's all like, damn, it was crazy. But just seeing that, like,
yeah,
just having that, being in that energy of the crowd, almost seeing a no hitter, and like even though he didn't get it, obviously he still got the standing ovation, well deserved. But it was just like, oh dang, Otani, come
yeah,
on,
yeah,
man! Like we're gonna win the game regardless. Come on, let us have this. But like, Otani is
yeah,
Otani,
yeah.
and he had to break it up. But I don't know. Sorry, I just got
Yeah.
carried away just talking about
You know, a
Otani and
funny thing.
Dodgers are trying to make it happen, speak it into existence.
Yeah, no. The thing is, I think I was at that same ball game with you. Not with you, but we were in. I
Uh
was at that stadium. Same thing too.
huh.
I think it was first inning. Mike Trout jumps up and off the fence. Makes a catch off the fence, jumps up and
Oh yeah.
brings one back. Pretty close one,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, like you said, man, that energy is insane, dude. When you get the best players in the world, going against each other, and I wish it was a closer game. I wish it was like a one-run game with the no hitter going on. I think that would have made it better. But
Mm-hmm.
even me, man, I was at the edge of my seat, and the funny thing is, I'm sitting there, we're watching the no hitter going on. What's the
Mm-hmm.
first rule of a no hitter? You never talk about a no hitter, right?
Yeah.
So we're over here, we're chilling. I'm with my friends, dude, and I got a guy, older gentleman, Dodgers fan. I'm not gonna talk smack about Dodgers fan, but Dodgers fan, older
Mm-hmm.
gentleman, and he's over here, every couple seconds oh, I don't think he's giving up a hit. Oh yeah, look at that. The Angels don't have a hit, and I'm sitting with my buddies, man, and again, lifelong baseball fans. So you could tell, dude, they were pretty upset. It's one of those, you just don't do it. You don't ever say, you don't talk about
Mm-hmm.
a no hitter. You don't bring it up. You don't look at the scoreboard. You don't ever say, hey, look, this guy's throwing a no hitter, right?
Yep.
That same inning was when Otani broke it up. So it's one of those where it's like, we're superstitious people. I don't want to say that's what did it, but
Yep.
man, that was tough to see too. Because I love watching history. I love watching baseball. I'm a big, like you said, I'm an Angels fan, but I can watch any ball game, any team, anytime. I'm a big baseball fan. So watching no hitters,
Mm-hmm.
being there would have been special. Like you said, that energy, man. Everybody being up, everybody stand. It's very,
Yep.
you get a lot of games you go and everybody's sitting down, but that game, like you said, everybody every inning was standing up, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So. I'm not. I'm hoping I don't see. I hope Otani stays in Angel Red. I hope he's staying there and keeps entertaining me, giving me a show. But I mean, you never know, man. And the Dodgers organization is amazing. They got the minor league
Mm-hmm.
system. They got all these guys in the front office that know baseball. They know what they're doing. Like you said, they didn't make a big splash this year, but that's all right. Like you said, maybe they are saving up for Otani, and I'll be sad to see him go. But man, if he's going to an organization where he can win at this point, man, as an Angels fan, that's all you want. Kind of wish
Yep.
Charlie could do the same thing, but I don't want to give him up. I think if Otani leaves, I'll be sad, but I think the day my heart will truly break is the day that Mike Trout requests a trade. I think that'll be it, man. That'll be one of those where I'd say it. I give up the jersey. Because this guy's given us everything. He stayed loyal. He's
Yeah.
never talked smack about our organization. He's always trying to win. He's always hurt, but that's only because he wants to play hard, man. You'll never see Mike Trout, you know, even a ground ball to third base right at him. This guy's sprinting, max effort, 100%. You don't have any ball players doing that nowadays, man. You don't have anybody playing the game how he's playing it. So again, sad to see Otani leave, but if Mike Trout ever requests a trade, man, that's it. I think it breaks my heart. I, it's going to be one of those where I don't think I recover as an Angels fan, man, because that dude's giving us everything. But I'm excited for this upcoming season, man.
Yeah.
So hopefully me and you will catch a game together,
Same.
watch the Angels live series, and hopefully it's Otani
Definitely.
pitching. And again,
Yeah.
like you said, Dodgers organization is amazing. So in middle of season, if we're doing bad, man, send over a couple of those those prospects you got going on. You know, what is it? Gavin
They got
Stone's down
Dodgers
there.
got
All
plenty
these
of
guys
them.
are out there. You got a couple. Yeah, they got plenty. Maybe a blockbuster happens, but you know, for now,
Yeah.
hopefully Otani pitches no hitter against you guys this year.
I don't know about that. I mean, I love Otani, but I hope it doesn't happen to us. That's the
Yeah,
thing too.
yeah,
It's all like you were saying. It's all like you don't want to see them leave, but at the same time, if they request a trade, that's kind of better for the Angels, obviously, because imagine Trout or Otani, either or, they request a trade, they can get a whole farm system for them. So like it'll help them build
yeah,
better for the
yeah,
future.
yeah,
But obviously, as a fan, you're gonna be like, no, like we know they're gonna leave because they want to win, But as a fan, you're obviously gonna be like, damn, this hurts, especially with Trout, who's been there since
yeah.
since the beginning of his career, obviously
Yep,
way longer. And man, I don't know.
yep,
I'm just
yep, yep,
hoping.
yep.
I'm just trying to speak it into existence. Otani to LA. I said LA, not Anaheim, because they're the Anaheim Angels, not Los Angeles Angels of
Yep,
Anaheim.
yep, yep.
That's one. That's another thing
I
too. I
hear it.
hate
I hear it,
that. Like, that's what they
dude.
they need to change that
Us
name.
Angels fan, man. If you're a real Angels fan, man, you hate that name. I'm gonna say that right now.
Hmm.
If you're an actual diehard Angels fan, you hate that name. And you know, I don't personally. I don't have anything against Artie. I don't think he's that bad of an owner. But if you speak to all our fan base, I guarantee you 80% to 99% will tell you that Artie needs to go, get us a new owner,
Yeah.
revitalize our our whole organization. I think 99% of Angels fans will say it. You know, so we were
Yeah.
pretty excited when he said he was selling the team, but he ended up keeping it. So I don't know, man. Maybe that forces Otani to go. But dude, we hate the name too. Trust us, saying it.
Hmm.
Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Come on, man. I mean, now we're just Los Angeles Angels, but nobody wants it. No true Angels fan wants to be Los Angeles Angels. We just want to be. I mean, I
Hmm.
personally, I love the old Anaheim jersey. Anaheim Angels. I'm cool with that. So, hopefully, like I said, maybe this season, as everything changes. I don't think Artie will sell, but maybe he's forced to. We'll see. But you know,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is what it is at this point.
Nah. Yeah. I'm just excited to see how the season turns out. New rules, and maybe like as a Dodger fan, hopefully we don't have this amazing season and then have it be a huge letdown at the end like last season, But I can joke around all
Yeah.
day about how the Angels can't make it to the playoffs, but as a Dodger fan, it's all like we won that we won a title recently, obviously, but most fans are gonna say it was pandemic shortened season, doesn't count, only 60-game season. At least we got it, whatever. But like I
Yeah.
can, like I was saying, I can joke around with you about that, but the Dodgers also need to start picking it up for themselves because they have these amazing seasons, like regular seasons, and then just for another playoff heartbreak. But I mean, all I can
Yeah.
say is I'm
Exactly.
excited to see how the season turns out because at least I know going into the season, Dodgers should be contending for World Series, this and that, whatever. So we'll just see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, these rules
Yeah.
make it more exciting. It's that way we don't have those super long games where it's like, oh my god, when is this gonna end? But I don't know. Any last words you'd like to
Yeah.
say before we
Exactly.
take
Exactly.
off?
Yeah, yeah, man. Big thing, dude. He goes like, "Hey, all 30 other teams or all 29 other teams had the opportunity to win that shortened season, and they didn't do it." So
Hmm.
I think for me, it's a legit
Yep.
championship. Again, if every other team was competing at the same level, and they didn't do it, it's on them, right? And as a
Hmm.
baseball fan, dude, I wish my organization was Dodgers. I think a lot of Dodgers fans are spoiled out there because you guys get playoff every year. You kind of lost that feeling where like, yeah, hell yeah, we're in the playoffs. We going in there.
Hmm.
As an Angels fan sitting here at home for the last 8 years, dude, not knowing we're not in the playoffs, just sitting here in October
Yeah.
watching other teams compete out there. I would rather take one World Series, in 10 years, but have 9 playoff appearances. At least we have the chance to get there every year. But, you know,
Hmm.
um, you guys are spoiled, man. Dodgers fans are spoiled. But, yeah, man, hopefully a good season. Good luck to everybody. Hope everybody stays healthy. Like you said, We'll see how the rules play out. Maybe next year we have a different conversation regarding, balls and strikes. We'll see what they do next year. But, as of right now, man, let's just get geared up for this next season.
Yep. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. We have about a month from today recording 2/27. We have about a month. Starts on March 30th. So I'm just ready to see what happens this season, All right. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come and join us on the Sports Planet podcast. It's greatly appreciated. We appreciate your input, your insights to baseball, because I've invited you onto this episode because I know you're a long time diehard baseball fan. So I couldn't think of anybody else to come on and help decipher the new rules for the common fan, So just once again, want to thank you for coming on to the Sports Planet podcast. And to everybody else who's either watching or listening, thank you for taking the time out of your day to support. And we'll see you on the very next episode of the Sports Planet podcast. Life is good. I've decided. Now I'm away from this violence. Out there is peace. And it's quiet.